Let's give him a big round of applause.
Because people are confused. I'm not even joking. Even my family is not believing I'm a doctor anymore. Right? My friend is asking my 6-year-old son Arjun, what kind of doctor is your dad? Heart doctor or brain doctor? I was like, uncle, he's a YouTube doctor. Just wanted to get the feel of the crowd. How many of them are doctors here? Raise your hands. Okay, super, nice. How many of them are dietitians? Okay, super. Any non-medical people here? Super, sir. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So, any other professions that I don't know? Sleep specialist. What is it? Huh? Students. Oh, nice. What kind of students? Medical students? Nursing students? Nutrition students. Super. உங்களுக்கு தான் இது perfect. Okay? Very nice. Very nice. Okay, beautiful. Okay. So, I was involved in the study called Masala study. Sakti Masala. Masala study is mediators of atherosclerosis in South Asians living in America. Any OBGYN here? Any gynecologist? Super. இல்லைன்னா நான் பாட்டு அடிச்சுடலாம் பார்த்தேன் இங்க இருக்காங்க. So, how many gut bacteria is there? Slightly இருக்கு. How many gut bacteria is there? அப்பா தூங்கல. Very nice. Super. 100 trillion. Can you tell me how many zeros with 100 trillions after 1? சும்மா அடிச்சுடுங்க. How many zeros? 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? 14. There are 14 zeros right after 1. Okay, that is 100 trillion. Just imagine how much amount of bacteria should be there. If you line up all these 100 trillion bacteria right from the earth, it will reach the moon. Okay, that's how big the bacteria is. Okay. முறுக்கு போட்டோன்னா உடனே வந்துட்டாரு சார். ஏன் நான் முறுக்க போட்டீங்க? Yes, sir. What is this? Maida products, right? Just raise your hands if you use it if you use it regularly. யாருமே தூக்க மாட்டாங்க. Silent-ஆ தூக்குறாங்க. Right? So you believe it? Everywhere there is Maida. Thank you, ma'am. Beautiful. அந்த டாக்டர் பார்க்கறாங்க சார் எடுத்துக்கலாமா? சார் நல்ல வேலை இப்பயாச்சும் உங்களுக்கு கொடுத்தாங்க. மதுரை மெடிக்கல் காலேஜ் பேசிக்கோ எனக்கே கொடுத்தாங்க. No, I'm not blaming what is happening here. That is the reality. That is how we are surrounded by foods. No matter whether, even if you don't want it, it will come to you. That is how surrounded by your with food. Okay. All right. So what is this? Puri. Puri ன்னு சொன்னா அவ்வளவு சந்தோஷம். Puri. இது என்னது? பக்கோடா. What is the problem besides maida here? Oil is not a problem, right? But too much of oil will decrease your oil. Okay. All right. Deep fried. Because the problem with deep fried is that deep fried will, when you heat something more than 100 degrees, okay, there is something called trans fats that's being released, and we'll talk about the trans fats. What is this? Pasta. How many of you have young kids at home? Raise your hands. Okay, so have you given pizza and pasta to your kids?
Yeah.
Obviously, right? Obviously. What is the one critical factor that is making us give pizza and pasta to the kids? Ease of cooking and lack of time. And both are not the kids' problem. Both are parents' problem. Okay, and ease of food availability and high sugar, high fat is making the kids crave for pizza and pasta again. Okay, the only Mayo that I know before going to the US in 2006 is the Mayo Clinic in Florida. After 18 years, I came here. Everything is Mayo surrounding me. Okay, Mayo. This is one of the biggest source of trans fats. Donut. This is also common. Very common. What is the most favorite store where you get it from Coimbatore? There's a donut shop itself. The name itself, the donut shop. Very nice. Wonderful. Super. I need to review that shop before I go to US. Alright, so donuts. So what's the problem with the donuts? How long a donut can stay in the shelf? Just give me a number, like 1 day, 7 days, 14 days. Donuts can actually stay longer to 5 to 7 days. 5 to 7 days. So that is why they add the ingredient to extend the shelf life. So that is the most important critical point. Okay. So coming back to our 100 trillion gut bacteria, let's say that you have been eating this on and off. I'm not even saying on a daily basis. Okay. So let's say I'm talking about a common Indian person eating, even if they think they are eating healthy. So let's say you are eating like once a week. Are we all agreeing that this will take everybody will eat at least once a week? Correct? If you do this once a week for 5 years, how much amount of gut bacteria is going to get decreased from 100 trillion? Any idea? 100 trillion will become 75, 50, 25? Okay. 50. So 10% every year. So that is how a normal, common Indian person exposure. I'm just trying, even if you try to be healthy. The environment is in such a way that we will not make you healthy at all. Okay? We will not make you healthy. If you keep on thinking about what the other speakers said now, medicine is such a noble profession that we are coming on the stage and we are telling you that you won't come to us. Correct? And we are telling everything to gall you. If you do this, you will not come to us. Which profession will say that? Nobody will say that, okay? But we still have this conference. Yes, this is a big round of applause to all the doctors, right? But we are still here on the stage and we are so confident and we are telling you this because we know you will not do it. Okay? So connection between all this 100 trillion bacteria. Ultra processed food. UPF. This is what my focus is on going to be. Okay? UPF, ultra processed food. Okay? And this, remember that I told you the shelf life is being extended. The reason that they can extend without causing food poisoning or gastroenteritis is because of these emulsifiers. And the two emulsifiers that I want you to keep in mind is CMC. Carboxymethylcellulose and polysorbate 80. Moving forward, after this talk, every packet that you are opening, okay, when you're tearing, before tearing, you have to look into the back of the packet and then see whether you have CMC or polysorbate 80. If you do that, you can still eat it, but just remember that tearing that packet is almost similar to tearing a piece of your gut. Okay, but it is okay. You just need to figure out how much amount of tearing is happening on an accumulated basis. All right. So, how many of you have heard this leaky gut? Okay, is leaky gut is normal or abnormal? Huh? Students, in a doctor solla maatanga. This is a tricky question. Any answer? It's okay. Normal or abnormal? Abnormal. Correct? Leaky gut is abnormal. That's what we have been told. But I'm going to tell you that leaky gut is normal. That is how a normal physiology happens. I'm going to explain everything in detail to you with this diagram. This is the only diagram I want you to focus on for the next like 5-10 minutes, and then we will wrap it up after this. Okay. So we talked about all those stuff. Okay. The emulsifiers, the chips, pizza, pasta, donut, you name it. Okay. And those are all ultra processed food. Okay. So I want a student for this. Any student can volunteer? Anybody? No? Okay, so I'll volunteer myself. Okay. Okay, so what happens when you are taking ultra processed food? Okay, so I want to get back to the previous slide. So you see this lining of the cells over here, right? So this is how the cells are being lined. Okay, lined very, very closely. Okay, what is that junction called? Anybody? Tight junctions, correct? Tight junctions, intercellular junctions, okay? Intercellular junctions. Those things are very tight, like it is so tight, like the friendship between Ramki and Arun Kumar in Inende Kaikal. Okay? It is so tight. The more it gets separated, that is where the problem is. That is where the problem is. See, that is where the problem is, okay? So, when it gets separated, all the toxins can go into the blood, and that is where we call as leaky gut. So leaky gut is normal. Okay, leaky gut is normal. So let's say you have an ultra processed food. you go in, it damages the lining of the gut. The intercellular connections, which are supposed to be very close and very tight, gets dispersed very, very slowly. Okay. Again, if you eat this little samosa that they gave, will that decrease? Will that widen the lining? All the gram-negative rods, which are not supposed to be in the blood, will be leaked into blood. This is what the initial damage is. We call this GNB, gram-negative bacteremia. In terms of clinical medicine, gram-negative bacteremia is a critical condition where patients are getting admitted as a sepsis in an ICU. We treat a septic shock, we give broad spectrum antibiotics. That is the clinical part of it. I want you to imagine the exact sepsis protocol is actually happening at each and every level, at a molecular level, at the gut lining as well. So this is called preventive study, and that is the acute treatment. That is acute treatment, but the exact same mechanism. Okay, so gram-negative rods are leaking into it. How do we know? Okay, so we were involved in a research in Stanford, in California, where we checked. Okay, so you are eating ultra-processed food. What is happening in the blood of the patients? So we took all these volunteers. You will be surprised that when patients are taking these chips, pizza, pasta, nachos, french fries, burger, pizza, whatever you name it, okay, all these patients have this blood marker called LPS, lipopolysaccharides, a lot more in the blood compared to the persons who were eating whole grain and healthy foods. Okay, how did this LPS come inside? Any idea? I just told gram-negative rods are entering. How is gram-negative rods and LPS are linked? Anybody? Cell wall. Exactly. The outer wall of the gram-negative bacteria is made up of LPS. And the amount of gram-negative bacteria is not that much to be documented in a blood culture. So it is not causing clinical symptoms. It is causing microscopic symptoms right at the gut level. So that is how strong this gut lining is. If it is widened, you are creating a sepsis like picture right at the gut lining. So I just want you to imagine, okay, as soon as we documented that, there's increased LPS in these trials, in these trial participants, we know that there is inflammation in the body. Okay, so then what we did, we checked for TNF alpha, interleukin 12. These are all inflammatory mediators, correct? So those inflammatory mediators will also sky high in these participants. And the reason is it's a natural response of the patient body to fight against this LPS. Okay, so we have two documented evidence that ultra-processed food is causing inflammation based on these two things. Okay, that is why we have low-grade inflammation going on for a long-term basis. Okay, have anybody heard of this Vidya Balan's anti-inflammatory diet? You guys know? Okay, you know what that is? Even Vidya Balan doesn't know. Even she doesn't know. She just cited anti-inflammatory. Everybody is messaging me, what is anti-inflammatory diet? Hey, right? So anti-inflammatory diet is what? What do you think? Anti-inflammatory diet is not something that you have to eat. That's a diet that you need to avoid, and you decrease the LPS, you decrease the inflammation, you walk back and you close the tight gut lining like the Great Wall of China. That is the anti-inflammatory diet. So what happens? Why are we worried about obesity, insulin resistance? Why are we worried about diabetes, right? Because of this interleukin 12 and TNF alpha, the inflammation, this inflammation is creating an artificial environment in your body thinking that something is wrong. Okay, so it is trying to preserve your insulin, which means your insulin is not able to get inside the cells because of traffic jam. Okay, so when we remove this inflammation, then the insulin will get in. But when the inflammation is not there, insulin will be there, but it will not work. That is why it is called insulin resistance. We never call it insulin deficiency. Have anybody here have ever thought that diabetic patients are putting insulin to them, correct? Why are they putting insulin to them? Because insulin is low in the body? No, insulin is high. Insulin is high. Even though the insulin is high in the body, you still give them insulin because The existing insulin in his body is only for namesake. Okay? It is not working. It is almost similar to the head of the household of a family. All the husbands, only namesake. Reality. Right? So that is how insulin resistance forms. Okay? So how to fix a leaky gut? So we need something called short chain fatty acids. That is the main treatment. If I have to create a multi-million-dollar business, and if I have to retire soon and I just wanted to enjoy my life, the only thing that I will say is I will take a capsule, I'll put all this SCFA in it, I will ask all my patients, everybody in India, 300 million people in the US and 1.5 billion here. Everybody, if they take it, there will be no medical problem at all. Because if the leaky gut is fixed, all the inflammation is gone now. So there is nothing to be worked upon. Okay. So that is called short chain fatty acids. There are three things I want you to remember: acetate, propionate, and butyrate. Acetate, propionate, and butyrate. Okay. How do we get this? Unfortunately, we cannot put this SCFA within a capsule. Very important. Within a capsule. This SCFA is the one that is feeding your gut bacteria in the large intestine. The only way to get that is food. And that is why முன்னோர்கள்லாம் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க உணவே மருந்து. Food is medicine. So whenever you start eating, you need to remember you are feeding two people. You are feeding for yourself and you are feeding your babies in your gut. So in a way, everybody is pregnant. Some people look they are pregnant because they did not take care of their babies properly. If they take care of the babies properly, they will deliver pretty soon. Okay. So how to get SCFA naturally? Okay, there are three ways. You can do a prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. Okay, and I am a complete. I'm completely against supplements. Okay, supplements. So this can be done naturally. If you cannot get it naturally, then maybe you can consider supplements, but definitely not the probiotic supplement that is available in the market. And we're going to talk about why that is. Okay. So yeah, I have 5 minutes. I'll just quickly run through this. Prebiotic is the food for the bacteria that we talked about. So we call this as MAC, microbiota accessible carbohydrates. The simple maida, what you're eating, is not going into your large intestine. So it is completely absorbed in the stomach and small intestine. So these carbohydrates are not accessible by your babies in the gut. So when you have to feed the babies, you need to feed carbohydrates rich in MAC. Okay. And this is mainly seen in fruits and vegetables. And we're going to talk about examples of natural prebiotic. Okay. Natural prebiotic, we know fruits and vegetables, but the most important thing is chicory root. Okay, so and onion, garlic. These three things have something called chicory root, correct? Something called FOS. It's called fructo-oligosaccharides. Okay, fructo-oligosaccharides. And if you don't take FOS, your gut will be full of FOS, which is a soluble fiber that act as a prebiotic, nourishing the beneficial gut bacteria. Okay. Chicory root. And you can figure out, all nutrition students, the one thing that you can keep on telling your patients is that, hey, try different ways of how to include chicory root in your diet. It also has a cap, chicory root coffee is also there, yes. Onion is one of the most important things. It has moderate amount of fructo-oligosaccharides, particularly in the form of inulin. Okay, the only way that onion is being included in our diet is the raita that is being mixed with the chicken biryani, which is this much. The raita is only this much, so we need to change that. Okay, so raw onion is also good. The only way that I'm saying a raw onion is a chicken 65 pieces, and raw onion is being given 2. Correct? And at the end of the meal, chicken 65 is gone. The raw onion is still there. Okay, so that is one thing. And then the next one is garlic. So the point you also have to remember is that when you are introducing FOS and when your patient is not able to absorb it properly and they're complaining of bloating, which means that they are at an extreme spectrum of irritable bowel syndrome, because your bad gut bacteria is more, will not be able to handle this much amount of FOS. So you need to give them very slowly. Okay. Alright, dietary polyphenols is the main ingredient for fruits and vegetables. So I want everybody over here to practice themselves and also teach their patients to have minimum of 10 plan points per day. What is a plan point? Plan point means we talked about, like fruits and vegetables have this complex carbohydrates, microbiota accessible carbohydrates, correct? So how do we include these fruits and vegetables practically in a given day? So I go by something called plan points. Plan points is, let's say if you eat a fruit, you get 1 point. If you eat a vegetable, you eat 2 points. You get 2 points. And then you need to keep on calculating throughout the day. Okay? So for example, let me have a Saturday. Sir, what did you have for breakfast, sir?
Breakfast, an apple.
Apple, வேற யார் கூப்பிடுங்க? இதுக்கு தான் வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பெஞ்ச் கூட கேட்க கூடாது. சார் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க சார், நான் மெடிக்கல் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க சார், கேஷுவா சொல்லுங்க சார். Upma, correct. Let's go big round of applause to him. Seriously, that is a normal way of answering. Upma la sir. Upma la godhum irukku. Okay, any fruit or vegetables sir adula? Usually add panna maatom. Correct. Upma ku tottukku enna sir? Sambar. Sambar la edha dal keel poduveenga sir? Normal dal. வீட்ல dal பண்ணா அந்த dal இருக்கும். ஹோட்டல்ல போனா தண்ணி மட்டும் தான் இருக்கும். Annapurna plan point -1. Okay, sir. Upma, sambar. Okay. So generally, sir, நேத்து மத்தியானம்ல என்ன சாப்பிடுங்க? Lunch. Normal lunch. Listen, normal lunch எது? உங்களுக்கு எது நார்மல் கேக்குது சார்? சரி சார். Curd rice. Okay, super. So curd rice. Okay. So will that consider as a plan point? No, okay, because that's a fermentation, so that's a different thing. Okay, so plan point. Okay, that's it.
1 week la indha mari.
இதுக்கு முன்னாடி சார் அதெல்லாம் உங்ககிட்ட சொல்ல முடியாது சார். வேற சூப்பர். I'm just asking now. Curd rice, அதுக்கப்புறம் சாதம் சாம்பார் ஊத்துவீங்க, தொட்டுக்கு ஏதாவது வச்சுப்பீங்களா சார்? காய்கறிகள் என்ன காய்கறி சார்? வெண்டைக்காய். So வெண்டைக்காய் சார் 1 plan point, correct? Okay. அடுத்து சார் அவ்வளவுதான். ஓகே, தட்ஸ் வெரி நார்மல். யூசுவலி பீப்புள் ஒன்லி ஹேவ் ஒரு வெஞ்சனம் தான் வச்சுக்குவாங்க, கரெக்டா? ஏன்னா 2-3 வெஞ்சனம் வச்சுக்கிறதுக்கு வரைக்கும் ஆள் இல்லை வீட்டில். எஸ்பெஷலி அமெரிக்காலாம் வந்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு வெஞ்சனம் வைக்கிறதுக்கே பக்கத்து வீட்டில் தான் கேட்கணும். Because we don't have help over there. Because you need a lot of time to cut vegetables, cook and everything. It's not easy. Okay, so அப்புறம் சார் ஈவினிங் ஸ்நாக், டீ காஃபி? டீ. ஓகே சார். நடுவில் லஞ்சுக்கும் டின்னருக்கும் நடுவில் ஏதாவது ஃப்ரூட் வெஜிடபிள் ஏதாவது இருக்கும் சார்? இல்லை சார். டின்னருக்கு சார் டின்னர் தோசை சப்பாத்தி சார். சரி, சப்பாத்தி தொட்டுக்க சன்னா ராஜ்மா அது மாதிரியா சார்? இல்லை வந்து சப்பாத்தி தொட்டுக்க என்ன யூஸ் வச்சுக்கோங்க? சிக்கன் தேங்காய் சட்னி. கரெக்ட், எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. சிக்கன் கறி வாரத்தோடு 2 நாள். Thank you sir. Let's give a big round of applause to the honesty over there. This is exactly what is happening with a normal patient. You imagine if you calculate this on a daily basis, average plan point of an Indian person is only sir, அடுத்த வருஷம் OBESICON கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் வரேன், அப்ப சொல்லுங்க இது கரெக்டா இல்லையா? Average plan point for an Indian person is only 3. How much amount of bacteria that we have? 100 trillion. So 3 will not feed you 100 trillion bacteria. So you need to have minimum of 10. So 3 per meal is the way to go. Okay, so always whenever you eat, you need to see, okay, do I get a 3 plan points? Nuts and seeds are also included. Let's say flax seeds, chia seeds, cashews, almonds, all those are included. So from today, you're going to do 2 things, correct? One is you're going to look into the back of the ingredient and looking for CMC, polysorbate. I'm not saying don't eat it, but remember that whenever you are tearing the piece of package, you're tearing the lining of your gut. That is number 1. Number 2, we talked about ultra processed food, leaky gut, lipopolysaccharide. So fixing that should be avoiding all these ultra processed food as much as possible. This is very, very important between 5 to 15 years of age. When you put the foundation very strong in your kids, that is one of the best long-term investment that you could ever give it to your kids. You don't focus about mutual funds. This is the best return of investment for you, for your kids' health. Okay. And the third thing is you want dietary polyphenol, short chain fatty acids we talked about. So we talked about prebiotic, we talked about chicory root, inulin, onion, garlic, and everything. Okay. And the last thing would be you need polyphenols for your gut bacteria, which is 10 plant points per day. Okay. Will you be able to do it? Super. So this is what I say in my YouTube channel, correct? I promote all this in my YouTube channel. So I went to a Madurai famous Jigarthanda place, and then I said that I'm from my YouTube. I'm running a YouTube channel, and that guy was very happy, and he said that என்ன ரெடி பண்ணிக்கங்க டாக்டர், டாக்டர்ஸ் வந்து என்ன ரெடி பண்ணிக்கங்க, இதான் உங்களோட ஸ்பெஷல் ஜிகர்தண்டா அப்படின்னாங்க. நான் உடனே வந்து ஜிகர்தண்டா வந்து ரெடி பண்ண மாதிரி வந்து the top இங்க பாருங்க, ice cream 300 calories, milk 300 calories, cream 300 calories. This is all together 1000 calories. You need to eat the jigardanda only once every 6 months. அவன் ஒரு மாதிரி பார்த்துட்டு சார் நான் இந்த கடையை 6 லட்சம் ரூபாய் லோன் வாங்கிட்டேன் சார், நீங்க பிஎம்ஐ பத்தி பேசுறீங்கன்னா நான் எப்படி இஎம்ஐ கட்டுறதுன்னா சார் அதுக்கு நான் மன்னிச்சிருவேன். ஆனா இந்த வீடியோ எடுக்கிறதுக்கு அந்த கேமராவை என்கிட்டயே சொல்லி எடுக்க சொல்லிக்க மாட்டேன், அதை மட்டும் மன்னிக்கவே மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னா. So the point I'm trying to make here is that we are being surrounded by food. Unless we create this conscious eating, our mindful thought process, nothing can save us. No one will be saving your life. You need to prioritize your life first if you want to live until if you want to be a very, very happy person. Okay, we are all emotionally bonded. And kids are our wonderful things, right? Everywhere, anywhere. Pediatrics, it's very difficult to practice in India because parents will also say that anything can happen to me, I'm okay, but even a single crack on my kid, I will not be able to handle. Correct? What I'm requesting you guys is, especially if you're between 25 to 45 years of age, if you have a kid less than 18 years of age, you need to be alive and healthy until that kid becomes 18. That is your damn responsibility. But if you really want to look into the quantity, one whole apple, how many grams of fiber you think? 2 grams, 5 grams, 8 grams? 5. 2 grams. That's the right answer. 2 to 3 grams. 100 grams of cucumber. 3 grams, 6 grams, 9 grams. 3 grams. 3 grams. Okay. 10 plant points will get you 30 grams of fiber per day. So that's the kanakku. Okay, you want a minimum of 25 to 30 grams of fiber per day. Okay, so you need a lot more. 100 grams of chana will give you only 3 grams. 100 grams of rajma is only 3 grams. 100 grams of chicken will give you how much? Zero. Non-veg doesn't have anything. That is why we do a lot of research on red meat. If you eat beef, pork, lamb, and chicken thighs are considered as red meat if you don't know, because chicken thigh is bone marrow. If you keep on eating it more than 500 grams per week for 1 year, there's an increased risk of precancerous colon polyps. It has been clearly linked. Multiple studies have done this on the US, and I scope patients after 50 years of age. Every US patient will have a precancerous colon polyp. If I ask him, he will say, I eat beef almost on a daily basis. I'm not against beef, I'm just saying that the dosage, more than 500 grams per week, plus if you eat beef, there will be no more room, not only beef, I'm just saying beef, pork, lamb, any red meat, there will be no more room for fiber for you. Right? So you need to earn your stomach needs to earn the food. Okay, only if the food is good, you need to feed your stomach.